This video is for my true makeup beginners. We are deep diving into setting sprays and powder products and exactly how to use them to get the most out of them. You've applied all of your cream and liquid products, your cream blush, your liquid foundation. Now we're going to melt these creams together. We're going to do that using a long-lasting setting spray. This one from Makeup by Mario is one of my favorite. You're going to hold it at about an arm's length and go ahead and spray. This is going to help all those liquid and cream products to really melt together. You're going to let the setting spray dry down for just a few seconds. And now it's time to move on to powders. There are 1,000,001 different types of setting powders on the market. We're going to go through a few of the most common ones. Your pink powder. This is what you're going to use if you're trying to brighten underneath your eyes. Pink powders tend to be loose powders, so you want to dip in with a precise brush, tap it into your wrist first. Going to look up and you're going to press this pink powder underneath the eyes. And you really want to make sure that you're pressing and not swiping because you don't want to disrupt the concealer underneath this powder. See how this side, it just smoothed everything out so beautifully? That is the power of using a powder. Now that the under eyes are set, I also like to set the T-zone. Technically, you could do this with a pink powder. I'm not quite that bold, so I like to use a flesh tone powder. We're going to be using this new one from One Size Beauty. This is the airbrushed powder, and I'm using it in the shade Fair. Again, I'm using a small, precise brush, picking up a little bit, tapping it into my wrist, and I'm going to use this powder just around the T-zone. You're using this really light layer of powder to soak up any of that excess oil so that it doesn't break through your makeup midday. I then like to take whatever's left of my brush, so I don't have any excess powder on here, just whatever's left, and I will just tap it all around the cheek area, because if we're going to go in with a powder bronzer or powder blush or powder bronzer and a powder blush, I don't want to put that pigmented powder product directly on those cream and liquids, because what happens is they can mix and it'll turn a little bit muddy. If you ever felt like you apply a bronzer and it looks muddy and dirty, it's probably mixing with those cream products. So I like to use the lightest amount of powder to help set these areas so that we're not applying that powder right on top of a cream. Now it's time for powder bronzer. We're going to be using this one from Makeup by Mario. And my favorite brush to apply powder bronzer with is actually a fan brush like this. This one is from G Beauty and it's one of my favorites. With powder bronzer, you want to apply it pretty much in the same place that you did cream bronzer. So forehead, along the cheekbones, under the jaw, and bridge of the nose. I also love to apply some powder bronzer right above the crease of the eye. Even if I do nothing else, just this and a little bit of mascara, it does wonders for opening up the eye and just pulling everything together. Now it's time for powder blush. And for blush, I like to use a little bit of a looser, fluffier brush. Nothing too big, because we don't want that powder blush to go all over the place, but something loose enough that it's going to apply a really soft wash of color. Go ahead and get it on my brush, tap it into the wrist, and then I just tap the blush right on the top of my cheeks and blend it up towards the top of the ear. And we're done. Your powders are on, your creams are on, your makeup should be looking beautiful. Let me know if we should move on to step-by-step eye makeup next.